Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel. I mean, me and Connor should be really smiling, but we will get into it. I've also got my lovely friend Carl, who, let's be honest, has had a bit of a torrid afternoon. Carl, how are you after that?
Don't even bloody ask, actually. I switched off after when you scored the second goal after the second half. And you know what I just said to my partner? I said, Helen, I'm just focusing on the Green Bay Packers. That is some more buzz for me now, to be quite honest with you now. They said the first stuff we start back today. It's been, it's been a poor performance. And we cannot be open we can't be open all the time. And that's been disappointing because I think Rodrigo's not being performance. I don't know why we be picking him every time. He's not been good enough at the moment for us. I just feel like Bielsa's of how he brings players when they come in, it's not working. Some of the other clubs always put their players on to start, but it takes time with this, not being Bielsa fit and all that stuff. But overall, it's been very, very disappointing, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I do kind of worry about next couple of games at the moment.
Connor, good evening to you. How are you after that?
On one side, I'm over the moon. Liverpool got 3 points. On the other side, I'm very, very concerned about Harvey Elliott. It's kind of overshadowed the game in a sense. Look, was it a vicious tackle? No, it wasn't. No. Unfortunately, injuries happen in football, and it's good in one sense because I think Harvey's already, he's put a post on Instagram saying, thank you for all the messages already, and I think he's already, in a hospital and looking being after and that. But he was having a tremendous game, and I say tremendous game. He's had a tremendous season so far.
He has,
It's just been very, 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 very harsh on a player that's done tremendously well so far this season.
Chris Welsh, who I know was at the game, it's a suspected broken ankle that Harvey Elliott has got. They're saying suspected broken ankle, potential suspected broken leg. It was... Look, I can understand why it's a red... For me, it's not a red card, okay? For me, it's not a red card. The severity of the tackle, I think, makes it a red card. But for me, I don't think that's a red card. I think Struijk was very harsh to be sent off.
I think it has to be a red card though, because it's a leg breaker.
Yeah, I suppose you go back to the was it Son
Andre Gomez,
Gomez. That was a similar situation, but look, it's a very bad injury. But what I will say, I think Harvey Elliott will come back stronger from this. He has had a fantastic start to the season, and just rotten luck, absolutely rotten luck as well. But let's say hello to a few people, because I have seen a few people. Helen Raybould is in. Hello to Rich Sports as well. Charlotte Slytherin I saw as well. That's the James Payton fan club on Twitter. Good Harry Potter actor there. Jade Exley's in. Hi all. Good win. That's shame for Harvey's injury. He's been great this season. Some of the Leeds fans were booing Salah. Made me angry. Yeah.
Listen, Jade, I get what you're saying, but you're coming to Leeds United. It's one of the intimate places. Of course, we're going to boo the opposition. So what we do is part of who we are as an identity at Leeds United. We're not going to just applaud the player. We don't applaud players, opposition players. We don't do that. It's not in our DNA.
The one thing I would say about that, though, and this isn't all Leeds United fans, of course it isn't, but the elephant in the room has to be addressed with certain home fans shouting victims towards Harvey Elliott and Liverpool. That's, it's not called for.
No, it's not called for, and I agree with that. I think that's where where I disagree with some of the Leeds fans when they had to go that too far. Absolutely, I disagree. I disagree with some of the Leeds fans who went too far with that, because they're not part of the club in my own eyes.
Yeah, great one. Thoughts with Elliot. He's one of our best players. Yeah, so definitely so far. Hello to Gunnar Gossip TV. Hello to Sophie. Hi, Doug. Just wanted to come in here and say congratulations on the win. Sorry to hear about Harvey Elliott. Hope he is okay. Yeah, absolutely indeed. Great performance by the lads. Overshadowed by Elliott's injury. Hopefully we see him back very soon. Yeah, absolutely. Hiya, chat. Time for players to step up in Harvey's absence. My first time at Elland Road, and I love the atmosphere. From most Leeds fans, not ones who went too far about 90. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is not good. But let's go and sort of start of the game and the starting 11. I have to say, Klopp did keep faith with Harvey Elliott, which I thought was very, very good. What did you make of the lineup, Connor?
I liked it. It looked attacking. It looked like Jurgen wanted, 3 points. Of course, the only Super Sunday game, because for some reason some people want to watch Burnley and Everton on a Monday night for some reason. But yeah, it was a good strong 11. I thought Hendo would have started, but he didn't. Went with Thiago, which was thankfully, because for me, a little spoilers. I thought Thiago was brilliant today, up there with man of the match in my opinion. And yes, overall just really happy, and the fact as well that we got options on the bench as well. Of course, now with Harvey and that situation, but there is elements towards Liverpool now where people like Divock Origi didn't even get on the bench today because there's so much good quality on the bench. So in terms of that, it was good. But yeah, it will be interesting over the next couple of weeks who gets that third midfield spot, because to be fair, Jurgen has chosen Harvey Elliott, for the majority of the games, and he had total faith in him.
Yeah, Carl, what did you make of the Leeds lineup?
A bit disappointing in some ways, especially we played Rodrigo again. A bit of a huge worry, but he's form at the moment, and I don't know what to say much more about this Leeds. I think on the bench we don't have no quality. That's been our weaknesses for over the last 2 seasons. But now I think Bielsa is now questioned more for the first time ever, and I think I have to admit we left so much gaps for you guys in that midfield area. We just left so many gaps, space, too much spaces, and I think all this year we're not tracking back properly. And I think with now Llorente now going to be out as well, which is going to be a bit worrying if how long he's going to be out for. I don't think we're comfortable enough at the moment. I think Bielsa's been going in his own ways. When the first season, and the rumor was confirmed, and I got told by one of the colleagues who was a Leeds fan, he came up from Leeds at my workplace this week, that the reason why Phillips did not get chosen in the first game because he was 2 pounds fat. He was 2 pounds over what Bielsa's weight was, and that was confirmed. And we're just getting too much open at the back at the moment. There's no leadership at the moment, and which is a huge concern. And I think the majority of fans can turn against if things don't improve by the next 2-3 games, because this is now a huge worry now for us, because it is disappointing that Bielsa is not changing his ways. Yes, Dan Jay's come on, yes, he got a bit more section, but what difference is it? The game's already overdone with, to quite honestly, and I feel like we just lack a bit more depth at the moment of not finding the perfect replacement.
There are a couple of comments actually here. Seamus Moore says Leeds are very open at the back. They're getting caught out this season. Yeah, I thought Firpo had an absolute torrid time today against Mo Salah. I think Mo Salah absolutely had him on toast, and I think the other side as well. Obviously, I think Elland had Mane to deal with, and I think Struijk and Cooper and Llorente, I think didn't contain Jota very much. Jack Mack has asked, Carl, are you worried this year? I had you down this year. Cannot keep on defending like this, especially when you're not that clinical in front of goal. Just look what happened to Sheffield United. They got found out.
Look, Jack, I'm not trying to worry too much, but this is a little bit of early warnings now, because if we don't fix our defense, this is a question now, because we're just not. We should have. I think with Koch, Robin Koch is not had a good start as well, and so much other players as well. So I do worry about that at the moment, and it's disappointing that we just be too much open at the back. And I think I don't know what's going on at the club. I don't really know what's going on at 11. We're not being perfect enough. We've had the same back four for quite much of the last 2 seasons when we came back, and now this. And we're being found out quite a lot now, and it's a bit worrying, Jack. I agree with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I know a lot of people have been saying second season syndrome with Leeds. The thing is for me, and going to this game in particular, there was just the midfield for me just disappeared every single time Liverpool went forward, and it's been like I watched Man United Leeds as well, and that 20-minute period where United just scored 4 goals, the Leeds midfield again went missing, and you look at it on paper and you go, it looks a very decent midfield, very solid midfield, and then when you actually watch it, it's it just again disappears, and I think that is Bielsa's main problem, is fixing that, because how does he fix it? Does he fix it formation wise? Does he fix it as it already is? But then it doesn't do that, so it's going to be hard for it. And if they don't watch, like Jack said, it might be another Sheffield United, but I don't think it will be, because I think Bielsa will change it before it gets too worse.
Jack, if you want to come on, I can send you the link through Twitter. I can send you the link through Twitter. You can come on and have your say if you want.
Connor's right what he said about what he said, and I like to go about Bielsa doesn't speak. He speaks a little bit English, but he doesn't speak it fluently. And I have to admit, I saw one of the critics going through. And the problem is, I'm not saying there's loose translation error, but I do worry about that it's not going well when we're playing a live match game. That's one thing I'm kind of a little bit worried about at the moment. And I think with that midfield area, I think we did get another midfielder, and I think that's going to cost us a little bit if we don't improve by January, if we don't improve results by January. Because we didn't get a midfielder, we were literally Lewis O'Brien from Huddersfield, and we did not get the deal done. And that's what really frustrated me, because Leeds, had the money. They had the money to get, to get Dan James. Fair enough. But they also could have a bit more to get Lewis O'Brien. We needed that one more midfield. I know Bielsa does not like to have a big squad, but at some point you need to have a little bit more than just 22 players, because it doesn't more than 20 players. Sorry, because he can't keep rotating with the youngsters, because some of the youngsters might not be ready enough to play in this level yet, and that is a huge worry.
Yeah, it is absolutely. I mean, look, obviously we can go into the first half. I mean, like I think that's the worst I've seen Leeds play this season. I thought Manchester United was really, really bad, but today, I mean, okay, like you actually started very well. You had that chance with Rodrigo in the 4th minute. I mean, Rodrigo should do better. I mean, all he has to do is basically slide through that, and I think that's in the back of the net. But it's straight at Alisson. And then we go up the other end. Trent crosses to nobody in the end, and then Mane had a shot. We will get to Sadio Mane, because Sadio Mane, so it was a bit of a weird game for him. Let's put it that way. Then obviously Cooper got booked as well. Jota shot saved by Melee as well. Fabinho booked, and then in the 20th minute, Mohamed Salah, 100 Premier League goals in 162 Premier League games. He's now the 5th fastest player to reach that margin. Connor, not bad for a one-season wonder, eh?
I still love the fact that people call him a one-season wonder. 100 Premier League goals now for Mo. I think by the time he's finished at Liverpool, will easily be the best ever African player, if he's not already there already. I think probably, Didier Drogba is the only person that comes to mind that's above him. But yeah, it just goes to show, again, people underestimating Mo Salah each and every single year, and with the golden boot now again, and Mo has transitioned his game from just solely being the number one striker, or just going for the goal straight away. You look at it today, trying to bring in Jota, trying to bring in Sadio Mane, which, like you said, we'll talk about him in a little bit. But he's added that element to his game, and his assist numbers are getting higher and higher, each year. and that's a positive thing, as well as the goals. The goals been maintaining the same. So yeah, Mo's just fantastic, isn't he? He's for me at the minute, he's the best Premier League player at the moment, forward wise, and he can just only get better, and that's the scary thing, that he can only get better.
Yeah, what's your reaction, Carl, to Mo Salah getting 100 Premier League goals today?
He's not surprised. I think he's proven that he can play well in the Premier League for the last couple of years, and with his goal, to me, is so good than I thought. It was so better than I thought, and to get the 100 goals, it's tremendous. And I think, like I say, he's going to be an icon at Liverpool for years to come after his playing career is over. And do you know what? You knew that he's always going to score. He's always going to score in every single game. Even though if he's missed from game, he always takes his chances and he always contributes with assists and stuff. But
yeah,
but he was always going to get the 100 goals at some point against. It was going to be against us as well. I think it was already written well before today.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously Mane misses an open goal, and then Mane shot just wide. Elliot had a shot saved by Melia, and in the 43rd minute, Carl, Luke Ayling has a chance to score. Why does he go with his knee? If he goes with his head, I think that's in the back of the net.
I know, but he said he couldn't even see it. I'm like, the ball was right there. The ball was right there. I don't know why he needed a knee. If you just saw the ball was trajecting down, he could have just headed it, and it would have gone in. It would have either gone in or on target. But surprisingly, he didn't do that. And listen, it's a bit shameful because that was the only way we could come back in the game if he scored, quite honestly, before half time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to be stat, obviously, from the first half, Leeds had 2 shots, Liverpool had 12 shots, which is... I don't think I've ever seen us be that dominant at Elland Road before.
No,
I don't think. To be fair, I think the only game... I'm trying to think of a game under Jurgen Klopp that we've been so dominant and just I can't
remember being so dominant for the first 50 minutes of a Premier League game under Klopp.
I think I don't think a game I could think of it was when I think it was against Huddersfield away from home and you beat the 3-0. That's the only game I could wanted to think of.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might have. The only other game I can think of is maybe when we beat Swansea 5-0 at Anfield, and it was just like every single time we shot, we scored.
Oh yeah,
that was the only time. Or Crystal Palace, to be fair. But no, it just falls down to Leeds crumbling under the pressure, I would say, because it's like what Carl said. Like, you don't know if there is a miscommunication there between Bielsa and the players and that, and you would think by now it would be sorted if that was the case, because he's been in English football now for what, 3-4 years now. So yeah, it's one of these things, and I think Liverpool, they didn't get out of first gear, did we really? I think if we needed to, we could have done, but it was just like, okay, we'll keep possession, we'll keep going, and we'll just reserve the tank now for our game against Milan on Wednesday,
yeah. And then obviously into the second half, and it's a corner. Fabinho makes it 2-0. Again, poor defending from Leeds point of view, Carl. Are you actually worried that you've conceded so many goals from set pieces?
Yeah, and that's been an issue for the last probably a few years under Bielsa, actually, and that's been Bielsa's way. And he's trying to improve on it, but that has been our weakness, and it's been an issue for a long-term going situation. I feel like there's no one's not talking to each other of trying to man mark, or we usually zone them, and it's a bit of a worry at the moment for us. I think this is going to be. I think that if this keeps going on, I think it will cost us if we do get relegated. And I hope that improves, because this cannot go forever. We had the same thing in the first half of last season. We improved it a little better from the second half of last season, and this is going to be the same conundrum again if Bielsa does not change not tweak the tactics, because this is not working out. Because if you're going to play either Dan James or even Raphina and Harrison off, you can't, because none of them don't play in central midfield. So this is the future. Bielsa might have to change his tactics. And you have to play with that 3-3-1-3, which we had more possession against Everton, but we didn't even win the game because Everton was a lot better. So I really don't know how this is going to end. I don't know how this is going to end, to go honest here, but it does need a change. And I think the board will be a little bit worried. And I think now, I stress the board, they have to do something to get one more player, because I think that midfield area needs that one more player. I think Click, he's struggling to go back from COVID and so forth. We just need leaders in that defense, and that defense as at the moment.
Yeah, Chris Welsh says Thiago, Salah, Fabinho might stand out. I have to say, I thought that the midfield today was absolutely fantastic. Fabinho and Thiago. I tell you something, Thiago can see passes that no other player in that Liverpool squad can see. There was one where I think he just saw Robertson on the corner of his eye, and he just I think he just diverted it just over the outside of his foot. I mean, he can do that, Thiago. I think that was probably, I'd probably say his best game in a Liverpool shirt so far. I would say. I was bloody glad Manny scored. Was getting annoyed with him being wasteful. Yeah, Sadio Mane, Connor. It was a very frustrating game for him. I mean, he could have had 5, he could have had 6, but at least he's getting in the right positions to get at goals, isn't he?
Yeah, you could say that. It's just frustrating for us, where we should be, about 5-0 up, and it should be a hat trick for Sadio Mane, and it's not. And then it's just 3-0, and yeah, it is good in some sense, where he's getting in the right positions, he's there, but he just needs to finish. If that's against, say if he has the same amount of opportunities and it's 0-0 against, a Chelsea or a Man City, and we look back at it at the end of the season, and then, what if he scored there and that, he needs to finish. But look, either way, it wouldn't have mattered, because of course Mo and Fab scored. But yeah, he does need to finish his chances, and hopefully against Palace next week he can do that. Otherwise, we're all going to be frustrated yet again with Sadio Mane.
Yeah, absolutely. Carl, are you actually glad it finished 3-0 and not 7-0 that obviously Martin Tyler and Gary Neville were suggesting?
It's a good thing I changed channels with it before they said that. Because I said to my partner, I said, Helen, I'm going to go watch the NFL. But do you know what? At least it's a little bit, at least it's not worse than it was in the first game. But I have to say, this Friday against Newcastle, it's a must-win game now for Leeds. If we don't win against Newcastle, that is a question. That's serious questions now with that where we go from there. It's serious questions, no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. And you're actually going to that game as well.
I'm not. So... I could not even get a ticket in the end. They all were sold out. So not only that, I'm not going to that game, I'm not also going to the home game against West Ham. So all tickets were sold out because they were trying to get me registered as a disabled member, which took a little bit longer. So I now can't even get to go to a game, unfortunately, when I'm back in Huddersfield next weekend. So, yeah, a bit disappointed with that. By the way, I have to go. I don't want to have my takeaway leave it too cold by fish and chips. So I'm just going to enjoy my rest of the night, because I'm a day off tomorrow, so I can prepare for our podcast tomorrow evening, because I know you're going to be doing your other podcast. So I'll be ringing on at 7 tomorrow, so I want to do some preparation. So I'm going to go do my thing and go watch the US Open final and watch American football to calm me down.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Carl, and I'll see you for the game at Anfield very soon.
You have to tell me twice.
Take care, mate. Take
care. See you later, Carl.
Yes.
And then there was 2. Yeah. Honestly, I've never seen Leeds play that badly before.
If I can interrupt, there is a little bit of news on Harvey Elliott. Jurgen Klopp has said there is a dislocated ankle. They said they were able to put it back in place, and he was then sent to hospital. So
dislocated ankle, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but apparently it was dislocated.
Dislocated, right? So it's it's not really. It's not
good, but it's better.
It's not good, broken. But it's at least it's not broken. But Is that a season ender? I don't think it is.
Let me look at it.
Yeah. But guys, we will move on to player ratings as well. Something I haven't done for a while, but I have actually done my player ratings. I was actually waiting for Carl to do his player ratings, but unfortunately, he's obviously gone off.
Apparently, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal, and then if it's a sporting injury, it could take up to 10 to 12 weeks. So,
okay. So could be back January then, potentially.
Was 12 weeks? 3 months? Probably
3 months.
Yeah, probably the new year, just like February time maybe, but still, it's a big period out of the year.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go on to play ratings, shall we? What would you give Alisson today? Because the only save I really remember him having to make was obviously the one against Rodrigo, which Rodrigo should do better. And then there was one where I think Bamford tried to chip him from about 45 yards out, and he managed to tip it over the bar. Apart from that, I can't really remember him having a save to make. I think he came out well. His distribution was very, very good. I've given him an 8. Would you agree with that? Or
yeah, I give him an 8. He did like 3 things, and he did all 3 things well. So sound. Like, I don't think you can give much more to Ali. I think all of us pretty much would have loved to give him 10s, but he didn't do anything. So yeah, an 8's decent.
8's decent. Andy Robertson, what would you give him today?
An 8 again. I thought he did well. When he had the opportunities to go forward, he did. He kept Raphina in his back pocket all game. There was once or twice where I think Bamford did cause Robbo and Virgil a bit of problem sometimes, but I think both of them dealt with that correctly. So yeah, an 8 for Robbo.
Yeah, I've given him an 8 as well. Van Dijk?
8. Again, to be fair, I think the benchmark will be 8 for all of the players apart from a few that's higher. But yeah, Virgil he's just calm, and I think Liverpool's most stressful periods was when Bamford got in behind and Virgil was just like, fine, you can just run past me if you want. We'll just I'll just catch up and just get the ball off of him like he did.
Yeah. Joel Matip, I'm toying between 8 and 9 because that run for the first goal was absolutely magnificent. It reminded me of the GIF. Do you remember the Hobbit movie where Bilbo Baggins is like, where are you going? I'm off on an adventure.
I love that. Like, especially like out of context, Matip is gonna have a field day with that, to be fair. But yeah, it is on the 8 or 9 borders. I think 9. I give him a 9 because he just reminds me of the giraffe from Madagascar all the time. I can't think of his name. Just reminds me every time he goes on a run. Just his arms. It just reminds me of that. But yeah, to be fair, Joel Matip's probably had a better start to the season than Virgil van Dijk, which
I would agree.
Is a very high level. So yeah, I'd give Joel a 9 for this game.
Connor would describe that on Warzone as me walking off.
Yeah. Jack's gone on a big adventure. Trent,
Trent again, another assist. If you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah in your fantasy teams, I think you'll be pretty happy this evening. I've given Trent an 8. I think he was fantastic yet again.
Yeah, I've given him an 8 as well. Thought he's pushing for that 9 as well with Joe. I'm gonna give him a 9 because
give him a 9
again. I just love the fact that Leeds fans were singing, he's a shite Kyle Walker, and he just shut them up like 15 seconds later. I just loved it. It was so good. I think Trent just even turned around and was like, do you want to sing it more? Like, I'll just play even better if you want me to. So yeah, I think since the turn of the year, he's been fantastic, and if he continues the way he's doing, he's going to be up there for me anyway for player of the year, because he's just on that another level at the moment, and he's just being so good and so consistent as well.
Absolutely. Fabinho, I mean, he got booked, but he managed to get the goals, so I suppose you've got to sort of knock off a mark for obviously his booking. So I'm going to give Fabinho an 8.
9.5 for me.
9.5.
Yeah, I thought he was that good today. There's no other. I don't care if Anthony's in here. I don't care if there's anyone else in here who thinks Fabinho is not the best DM in world football. He is the best DM in world football.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely agree with that. Thiago, 8. Best performance in a Liverpool shirt this season.
I was going to go 10 because he was just so good today.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I go in 10. Actually, yeah, go 10 because he was so good today. The thing is, since the last 12 games of the season last year, he was getting back into his form and straight away just walked into the team, done good. Brilliant performance, and yeah, he'll just continue to do it. I think this year is going to be a big year for Thiago, especially on the left hand side as well, because I think me and you said it, didn't we? We thought he'd play on the right hand side this season, but looks to be the left hand side this year, and for me, he's doing a fantastic job at the moment, and hopefully he continues it and doesn't get injured as well, because I think that was a massive factor last year where he did well. He was practically out for 3 months, wasn't he?
Yeah. That comment there, Thiago's passing is brilliant. Trent as a defender, end of, never a midfielder. Thank you, Helen. Gareth Southgate, stop playing him as a midfielder, for goodness sake. What would you give Harvey Elliott's obviously performance until he was obviously stretched
10.
off?
Just give him a 10. Yeah, like him, Thiago were fantastic in that midfield. And yeah, looks to be now out for 3-4 months potentially. Could be out for the entire season. Being fantastic the whole of the season. And yeah, for me, just give him a 10 because he deserves it.
10. Okay. Sadio Mane. I mean, he looked sharp. He was getting in good positions, but it's just the dreadful shots that he missed. But at least he got his goal. What would you give him?
8. Like I said, I think the bare minimum I can give everyone right now is an 8. So it's an 8. If it was any other day, it would be a lot lower because the amount of chances he freaking missed. Like, I think I looked at it just now, and like, I think he missed like 9 attempts. Oh, no, I'm looking at it now. One goal, 2 shots on target, 3 goals off target, and 6 shots were blocked. So it's just like, please, Sadio, please. To be fair, we all have a go at Bobby Firmino for the percentage of the goal, the shots per goal ratio that he has. I don't want to know what Sadio Mane's is right now because it's going to be pretty low.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would agree. I think Mane gets an 8. Jota, obviously didn't get on the score sheet, but again, he looked pretty sharp again, I thought, today. And obviously that save from Melie, where I think he's on the stretch, and Melie just obviously gets a good right hand to it. Look, Melie is a very good goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, but should Jota do better there?
I don't think so, because I think he was on the stretch, wasn't he? With it, so I don't think Jota could have done more about it. And again, he's had another game where he's not really going to be noticed for the performance, but him just drawing the midfielders out of position, drawing the defenders out of position, doing the classic Bobby Firmino role.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have said that he can't play the false 9 position. I think he can, and I think he can do it very, very well as well. So 8.5 for
8.5. And Mohamed Salah, is it a 10 for Salah?
Yeah, it's got to be a 10. 100 Premier League goals. Bullied Firpo, across the park. And yeah, just superb. Absolute lovely player. And whoever's in charge of that contract renewal, get him done now, because he bloody needs it. He needs the new contract.
Just give him whatever he wants.
If he wants 500k, give it to him.
Yeah. Substitutes: Jordan Henderson.
8. Hendo just did what Hendo does. Come on, settle the game down. Job done.
Ox had a chance to score.
He got on my nerves. Like, I think more so than Mane, because he lost the ball like 4 times, and it was all in the space of like 2 minutes. It was like, can you just keep hold of the ball, please? But yeah, I give him an 8. If I give Sadio an 8, I gotta give Ox an 8 as well. But yeah, it's just, to be fair, I don't think we can rate Ox, because he was only on for 3 minutes?
3 minutes, yeah. I mean, Keita was on for about 2 minutes, so 10. You can't really. Same as Chris Welsh then.
Chris. I saw Chris's comment and I was like, 10. Give him a 10.
Livio Stan is on. Hello. I'm an Arsenal fan, but Harvey Elliott challenge was really deadly. Hope he recovers. It's a dislocated ankle, apparently, as well. And Helen Raybould has just put words into my mouth that I would say Manny should have already scored over 100 Premier League goals. Absolutely. He should have done. But that's just the thing with Manny now. But obviously we are all sort of devastated about the Elliott injury. I have to ask you about Divock Origi, because another game where he has not made the 20-man team to obviously go to away to. He wasn't in the squad against Norwich. He wasn't in the squad. Oh, we have another guest, believe it or not.
He's at his food now, if he.
It's Mr. Dave's LFC Chats. Hello,
all right,
Dave.
boys. All right. What's happening?
How are you?
How are we?
A bit. To be honest, I just did my own little live stream there. Listen, we should be in dreamland here. 3-0 away, clean sheet, 3 goals. Could have been 23 goals. I mean, we were that good. Some of the performances was up. Fabinho was just delicious. I mean, I'm not even going to have supper tonight. Fabinho's just filled me up. I'm not going to have anything to eat. That's it. Finished. But the injury to Harvey, unfortunately, has taken everything out of the game. To be fair, 3 points is 3 points, but it looked bad. I seen it. It looked bad.
Yeah,
it's definite break. It's a break. I seen it.
There's Klopp said it's a dislocated ankle.
Yeah. Now there is ways. The way it can be a bad one or a good one. We probably won't find out till midweek. But it's just, listen, get well soon. That's all I can say. But it really took the shine off. I was going to enjoy my beer, my Liverpool glass and all here, look. But it's certainly not going down. It's not going down well.
I do like that Liverpool glass. We were just talking about Divock Origi, Dave. Are you surprised that he wasn't in the squad again?
Who's he? No, I was actually on one of those, what do you call those space things on Twitter? You go on and you speak. What are they called? Space.
Spaces. Yeah.
Spaces. Yeah.
Chris Khan had one on, and I came on, and they were basically talking about Origi. The fact that, and I keep on saying, and I've said it loads of times. I was telling them that Origi, unfortunately for the lad, now I know he's on a good wage and stuff. He's not going to go poor, but he should have went in 2019. He should have went after the Champions League.
100%.
That was his, that was when his stock was highest. His stock has just gone nosedive since then. I mean, even last year, you could say, I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, which made selling anybody summer of 2020 nearly impossible, let's be fair. So that sort of went against us in the transfer market as well. But I just think Origi's out of favour now. I think he's got to be in the League Cup type games. I can't see him. Unless we get some bloody crazy injuries again, which I'm hoping we don't.
Oh, Dave, don't say that.
No, but I mean, that's the only way he'll get back in, I think. He's not going to get in. He won't get in. I don't think. I don't like professional players that dare to play football. I did an interview yesterday with an ex-Liverpool player, Sean Dundee, who was in the same boat, 98-99 season. He only played for Liverpool 3 times. He signed a 3-year contract. He played 3 times. He used to train on his own. with Paul Ince. So, but like, you know, so you can be lucky, you can be unlucky. And I mean, look at Harvey Elliott today. His season is just taking off. His stock is rising. He's 18. The world is his oyster. Bang. In a split second. I'm not saying the season's over, but, you know, it's a few months. It's not weeks here. It's months.
Yeah,
but back to your question about Origi. Yeah, I think I can't see much of Origi this season, to be fair.
Yeah, we were saying, Connor, we're thinking that the injury to Elliott is a 2 to 3 month injury. We're thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like speculating on injuries because you could be blown out of the water and it becomes a 6-monther. I don't know. I think actually, if you're saying 2 or 3 months now, that's actually positive for me for an injury like that. That's a positive. If you tell me he's back at Christmas, that's like Santa Claus. Like that is a Christmas present because it could be worse than that. I mean, we see what happened. Like,
yeah.
You know, he's young. His bones will heal. That's one thing he has going from low center of gravity. But look, it's taken the whole fucking buzz away. This result. Yeah. I mean, I was about to come on and say how good Fabinho was, how good Matip was, how good Thiago was. What was Thiago like today? Salah was back. It was unbelievable. Even Mane, I know. Listen, Mane.
Oh my goodness me. The whole crew are here.
Woo!
Mr. Jack Mack. How you doing?
Thank you.
The Avengers are back.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Doug. Lovely to see you, Dave. I've been watching everyone. Saturday, having me tea. And I've had about 10 tabs open watching everyone's videos. So, yeah, hopefully everyone at home's having a good night anyway.
How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, it looks like I'm absolutely raging. I think that's my background, not making me... Looks like I've been on the sunbeds.
Looks like you've seen a UFO or something, like, you know, in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jack.
I have that old Margaret Robbie has just walked into my room. But yeah, so what a win, as you've all been discussing, lads, haven't you? I'm happy about the result, but the injury is quite sad. But fingers crossed, that's all we can do. But big opportunities opened up for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, and even Thiago's performance today. I think he doesn't have to remind us, really, does he? Because his quality, but what a performance he put in as well.
Yeah.
Him and Fabinho and Elliott, to be fair, before Elliott's injury. Those three, I didn't think it'd work. I was looking at the starting lineup going, bit of a worry there, but it actually worked to perfection.
I think they exploited the holes in the Leeds midfield really, really well. Obviously, we had Carl on earlier, and you know he's a big Leeds fan, and I think the one thing he said was he was very surprised how open they were, and I'm not sure that Dallas-Phillips combination works, Connor. I don't know about you, but one's more attacking, one's more defensively. I think if one is more attacking, you're going to be leaving spaces in behind. And the problem was, I don't think Raphina and Harrison are actually tracking back as much.
It's like I said earlier, wasn't it, mate? It just Leeds midfield just disappeared during the game, and I think that, like I said earlier, that's where Leeds for me are massively in trouble, because you look at it on paper and you know Raphina, you know Phillips, Dallas, and then you look at it and go, oh, you know, it looks a solid midfield, but it just disappeared, and it happened, you know, against us today. It happened against Manchester United a few weeks back, and yeah, that for me is of course Leeds' biggest problem. But I think Liverpool as well. It's like we were saying, didn't get out first gear, did we? And I think if we needed it, we could have got out of, you know, we could have turned up to fifth gear straight away and just battered Leeds if we wanted to.
Yeah,
that's how good the performance was and how bad Leeds were. But it was definitely an exciting game then, you could say.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Dave? Leeds can find themselves in a relegation battle if they don't sort something out with that defence.
No, I'll tell you what, Leeds, you were saying there's holes in the midfield. I mean, Leeds, that's the way Leeds play. It's when they come up against the elite, the top 5, top 6 teams. It's really when it gets... I mean, United did it to them earlier in the season. It's when the top teams come up against them. It really looks bad. But I think they'll be okay against probably 3/4 of the league. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they'll probably finish 9th or 10th and they'll be okay. But, I mean, the midfield was like Swiss cheese today. I mean, there was holes all over the shop. Really, really bad. And Liverpool were like just exploiting everything. And as I say, that midfield three just worked to an absolute T. Thiago, it was like a five-a-side for Thiago. Didn't really have to break sweat. Was in the right position. Simple little balls, long little curlers. That little flick for Mane's goal. That was an injury time. Like that little flick, weight of the ball, beautiful. Fabinho, what can I say? He was my man of the match today. Fabinho. I mean, he was everywhere. I know you could have 3 or 4 players that got man of the match today, but if you have to pick one, it was the fabulous Brazilian, and it was delighted we had him today. And he could have been missing because of that Brazilian fiasco midweek. But Fabinho was just with not only the goal, just his overall, and the fact that he got a yellow. I thought it would have dampened him. That yellow early. I thought, no, Fabinho can't do his big long leg tackle. It didn't even stop him. He actually went worse. So it was just a perfect performance, and I think Leeds suit us. To be fair, they suit the top teams.
Yeah, and Jack, I was saying to Connor just before, obviously, you and Dave came on. Do you remember that gif about Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit where he goes, "I'm going on an adventure"? How good was Matip today? Because Matip always reminds me, whenever he does these mazy wee runs, he's basically going on an adventure.
Looks like a very unbalanced giraffe running through on Leeds' defence. It was like a couple of us after a couple of bevies, isn't it? But he's got full control of his body. It's just his frame. He's quite a tall lad, but the quality to break. We're talking about Fabinho and obviously Thiago and Harvey and players like this that break the line. But Liverpool, what we missed last year was not just our midfielder and attacking players, but we missed Van Dijk's ability, Matip's ability, and our fullbacks when they're fully pushed up, that ability to break the line. But yeah, I think Fabinho, as Dave alluded to, and Connor as well, and you, mate, and everyone in chat, probably we're our best players. But for me, Joe Matip, he was my man of the match. Though him and Fabinho, man of the match tonight.
Listen, there's 3 or 4, Jack. I'm just picking one. But I can't pick 4 players and give them all a bloody trophy. But
pick them all, Dave.
Well, Matip even outshone Van Dijk today. I mean, Matip's being that good at the start of the season. He's done nothing wrong. So you had Matip, Fabinho, Thiago. You could have said Thiago. Salah was just Salah. Salah was on the lead. I thought Salah was, every time he had the ball, he didn't know what he was going to do something. So I think Klopp deserves man of the match for picking the team. He got it right. He got it right, baby.
You got it right. You got absolutely spot on. Man of the match, Connor?
Thiago Alcantara for me, mate. Yeah. I think he it's like Dave and Jack have said, it could have been one of 5 players today. That's how good we were today. And it's just frightening how we look at it at the moment, we go, okay, there's depth there at the moment because, of course, we've got Milan midweek and then we've got Palace then on the weekend again. So it's, now the competitiveness is coming week in, week out. And, we've got Thiago, Fabinho, Hendo, Naby. There's so many elements that Liverpool could do with. And the fact that Jurgen got it right, like Dave said today, the midfield worked tremendously. And how many times have we gone, Liverpool's midfield didn't look really creative at all. It was so good today and so creative.
You're spot on there, especially when you're getting pressed like Leeds done. That the intensity for that game, like probably the most intensity I've seen all season, given the two styles. I suppose amazing.
The Liverpool FC have just tweeted, and basically they have given Fabinho man of the match. The Liverpool FC Twitter page is giving Fabinho.
They were listening to me. They were listening to me, Doug. But anyway,
they were listening to you. Jack, man of the match for you.
I said Fabinho, but I'll go with Matip. I just love the lad. I just can't wait to look on Twitter and go on all those Joe Matip accounts.
No context. No context, Matip or Matip.
No context.
I've never known a person. It's like the Office. I'd love to see Joe Matip on the English version of The Office with Ricky Gervais. Him in The Office.
Oh, imagine. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I'd love to go out for a drink. Imagine going out for a drink with Matip. Matip Milner, and Robbo. On a stag.
You just see Joe Matip in the corner, just like fuming at something. The barman's not got his pint or something. Oh, come on!
Yeah. Anthony Konate isn't injured. He just hasn't had his chance yet. I think we might see him on Wednesday though. I think we might see him on Wednesday.
I think there'll be one or two changes on Wednesday again. That's not an easy game. I mean, Milan aren't the Milan that we all know from, the noughties, the famous 90s side, but good young side. I wouldn't take them lightly. I would not take them lightly. I'd play a strong team against them. Yeah. What?
You won 2-0 against Lazio today, so that was a big
That's what I'm saying. They're a good side,
I don't think we'll see Konate until next week, until Palace.
Until Palace.
Yeah.
Palace or Anfield, yeah.
Van Dijk's got to get a rest,
Norwich, or potentially Norwich in the cup. Yeah, definitely. The
thing is as well, Gomez. It'll be interesting to know where Gomez actually is in Klopp's head. Is he back up for Trent, or is he a fourth choice centre at first? Mm-hmm. Because, like Jack said, Virgil needs a rest. But will Jurgen bring in Konate and Gomez at centre half, or will he, rest Trent and play Gomez? Because I think that's more the question: is Nico ahead of Joe Gomez? I'd say but I'm no Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, absolutely. That's we're happy with the win, but obviously it's been overshadowed by a very serious injury to youngster Harvey Elliott, who has had a magnificent season so far as well. But thank you very much for watching this live match reaction. Big thank you to Connor, to Dave, to Jack, and to obviously Carl for coming on as well. There will be an AC Milan preview. I don't know if it'll be live. I don't know if it'll be pre-recorded, but I'll be having a chat to these lads, and we can obviously figure something out as well. But yeah, guys, obviously if you haven't missed this live, and let us know your man of the match, and let us know your thoughts on the game, and obviously get well soon, Harvey Elliott. But from the four of us, it is goodbye, and you'll never walk alone. Cheers, Reds.
Cheers, guys. Stay safe.